Hey, everybody, it's yours truly, the Iceman, Jamie Dundee, and you're listening to Wolfie D's Live and in Color, because don't diss the man or we'll bum rush your mother.
Hey, this is Jimmy Street, host of the Live and in Color with Wolfie D podcast. Hear the life and times of professional wrestler Wolfie D. From his time in the territories with PG-13 to his time in WWE, ECW, WCW, TNA, and more. Nothing is off limits and nothing will be held back. Thanks again for tuning in. Here he is, Wolfie D. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one more time to the Live and in Color with Wolfie D podcast. No guest today, guys, but again, you had such a great response to last week's episode with Jamie from my podcast, Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling. I'm playing the second half of that. I think y'all enjoy that. The response to the first half of the episode was incredible, so I'm going to give y'all the second half today. Thank y'all so much for continuing to listen to the show. We greatly appreciate that. For more of Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, go check them out anywhere you listen to podcasts, or at GMBMPW on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube. Check out the other interviews we've done. Thanks again.
Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
There are people out there all across the country pushing boundaries to grow the game of golf. Like champion speed golfer Lauren Cupp, who plays faster than anyone else. And Will Lowry, whose work in the golf community inspires more kids to get into the game. As a champion partner of the Masters, Bank of America supports everyone determined to find out what's possible. In golf and in life. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC, copyright 2025, Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Hey folks, to get your official Live and in Color with Wolfie D merchandise, go to prowrestlingtees.com/live Wolfie D. Check it out.
If you're listening to Live and in Color with Wolfie D on Apple Podcast and like what you're hearing, go ahead and leave a 5-star rating. And while you're at it, write a review. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what you'd like to hear in the future. It's very important to us and always appreciated. Thanks again. So let me ask you this. You brought him up, Vince McMahon. I would love to hear your thoughts on this new scandal with Vince.
Here's the thing. It's only a scandal because he got caught.
Right, exactly.
I mean, listen, you're not a bank robber if you don't ever get caught robbing a bank. Right?
Right.
I mean, if you go into bank robbing and run away with the money, they never say, well, that Jamie Dundee, guys, he's not a bank robber because he didn't get caught. When you get caught, it becomes a scandal or it becomes something bad. Vince McMahon has covered up murders. Vince McMahon has covered up every rapes. He's covered up anything you can think of. He's covered up because not for the person, for himself, because it would affect his money. And that's why they say money is the root of all evil. Money is the root of all evil because Vince McMahon covered up many, many things in his life, and why he would be such moron to think that he can give some 22 or 25-year-old chick some money to shut up. He's lost his mind. Right. Because first of all, the more famous you are, ask Tiger Woods when he banged the Waffle House chick. The more famous you are, I mean, am I wrong? The more famous you are, the more I want to tell somebody what you did. It's not Mike Tyson didn't rape that. He just didn't walk her to the limo. Am I wrong? At 2 o'clock in the morning when she went to Mike Tyson's room, she thought she was going to go play Scrabble or something.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Right. She went to Mike Tyson's room at 2 a.m. and they banged him. And because Mike laid in the bed and said, I'll see you tomorrow, get in the limo, she felt like she was abused. She was not treated like a lady. Listen, the lady don't come out at 2 o'clock in the morning to Mike Tyson in the damn hotel room. Right. But that's what I mean about America is such a. It's only woe is me because oh my God I got caught. Why do you think you wouldn't get caught? If Vince McMahon paid me money to hush, I'm telling on him.
Taking the money in on him.
Right. Listen. When I say I'm not telling on him, I'm gonna have Jade Starr tell on him. That way I didn't break the code. You know? Right. The girl, she took the hush-up money, and then after the hush-up money, she had her sister tell. Well, I'll be damned. Ain't that coincidental?
Right.
It's not like he's done that a million times. Here's another one. Sonny.
Mm-hmm.
Sonny did 5 DUIs and killed a man.
Right.
And she got 17 years, which is the minimum you could get in that state of Florida for doing what she did. Yeah. And the reason she got that was because somebody knew somebody who knew somebody who knew the judge. Yeah. And if you don't believe that's true, you can kiss my ass. Because when I was 19 years old, I was arrested in Louisville, Kentucky for 7 felonies for rolling in the gay bars. I had criminal mischief, phone endangerment, assault and battery with an intent to do all this. It was 35 to 100 years.
Wasn't that with Ronnie Travis? Was that Ronnie Travis?
Yeah, Ronnie. Yeah, but this wasn't with Ronnie. He wasn't there at the gay bar. It was another dude I was running with. But here's the thing. Bill Dundee knew the sheriff. The sheriff knew the judge. And all of that just disappeared when I was 19 years old. I'm 53 now, and all of that just went away and disappeared. I was banned from all gay bars in Jefferson County, Louisville for life. Well, oh, darn. Darn. But here's the thing. It ain't what you know, it's who you know in America.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
And if you know the right people, that's what Donald Trump did. Donald Trump said, I'm going to become the president to expose the government for what they are.
Right.
We already knew what they were.
Right.
But he brought it to the limelight now. Guess what? He just got fined $385 million, and he can no longer try to be a politician. Well, ain't that coincidental?
Yeah.
Only in America, bro.
Right. It's only in America. Exactly.
Only in America.
Yeah.
So
sorry,
one of the big
shit, I do that all the time.
I love it. No, you're great, man. You're great.
So one of the biggest names in the Attitude Era is Stone Cold Steve Austin, and you have some history with him. You have some history with him in the USWA as manager, right? Tell us a little bit about him at that time.
Yeah, Steve is the real deal, man. Steve is what you see. I talked to Steve a couple years ago when he was running that show, Redneck Islands.
Yeah.
And the reason that died is because the first year they put a over, and the second year they put a black guy over. And they listen, you take this any way you want, but if you're on a country network channel and you got Stone Cold Steve Austin as the host, and the first guy to win a show called Redneck Island is gay, season 2 probably ain't gonna draw because it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Steve didn't care. He got his money and got paid, but he knew damn good and well that show was done.
That one's done. Yeah, that one's over.
I called him and I said, Steve, hey, bro. He said, because he saw Wolfie at the awards. Wolfie was building the stages or whatever in Nashville at an award show, right? One of them Grammys or whatever, them real award shows, and Steve was the co-host. And he saw Wolfie. He's like, Wolfie D, how the hell are you, man? He said, where's them damn Dundees, man? So Wolfie gave him me and my dad's number, and Steve called. And like I was saying earlier, the more famous you get, the more lonelier you are. And it was great because Steve called me and we talked for literally hours. I mean, it was really like 2 hours. My elbow was hurting and shit from holding the phone so long. It was because I guess when you get as famous and as popular as, Michael Jackson status, Elvis status, Stone status, The Rock status, when you get that famous and that popular, you really don't know who's your friend, who's out there to get you, who just want, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to separate it. So all he wanted to talk about was, man, you remember when we did this? Remember that time on the road? Listen, we made $40 a night. That's what me and Steve made together. We made $80. Man. He had a little bitty shitbox Toyota car. We would eat tuna fish out of the can. He called me managerial protege. He'd say, managerial protege, how much money we got left? This is shit. Our room was $32.50. This is long before I found drugs. All I found was tuna fish because Dutch Mantell said one time, Jarrett said, "Are you boys on steroids?" Dutch Mantel said, "On steroids, you don't pay enough money for us to be on food."
I love that.
That's great. Me and Steve made $80. The room was $32.50 a night to split, so that was $17.50 each. So now we got $22 a piece to eat on, and then put gas in that little car and go to Louisville the next day from Memphis, then Evansville the next day. But you know what? I would have done it for free. That to me is that was the greatest, because it's two people doing what you really love, man. Just learn. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like
exactly.
When you're a football player and you start in Pee Wee, and then you go to the little league, and then you go to junior high, then you go to high school, then you go to college, and you finally make it to the pros. And then comes the money and the bullshit and all the other shit that comes with it. All them years before that, you did it for the love of the game, man. You did it because it just meant the world just to go to the building and somebody asked you for your autograph. And you just, I don't know, it's just because it's so in you and you just love it so much. And then you get up there to the Vince McMahon bullshit where everybody wants to go. And then once you get there, it's kind of like, man, I sure wish I was just back in Memphis making $40 for real. I mean, honestly,
right.
It's just terrible, man. It's everybody's backstabbing. Everybody's trying to get somebody's job. Everybody's telling on mother. I mean, if it was the penitentiary, they would all stab each other to death. Because I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. They would tell on you, but they call it ribbing.
Exactly. Yeah. Are we just ribbing?
Cocaine in his bag.
Right.
No, you just patted on me, dude. You just told on me.
Right.
Yeah,
oh, man, we're just ribbing. Yeah. It's some stiff ribs if that's the case, man. You know.
Sure enough. And here's the thing. As they say in life, everywhere in life, you meet the same people on the way up as you do on the way back down. So that's why you better be careful who you with on the way up, because on your way down, they may be on the way up, and it's up to them whether you get to continue on whatever it is you do in life. You know what I mean?
Amen.
I mean, that's just how life works, man. Once again, it ain't what you know, it's what you know.
Yeah. And I mean, you could argue that Hulk Hogan or Stone Cold, I almost kind of lean towards Stone Cold as the biggest name ever. You know what I mean? As far as, did you by chance feel like you saw that in him at the time, or did you just see the drive, or did
everybody saw that in him at the time?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Everybody kind of like, I just saw a thing the other day. It said the top 5 people that Steve Austin hates.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Right. Number 1 was Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I've heard they've made it up or whatever. Now, listen, I understand why he hates Jeff Jarrett. He probably hated Jeff Jarrett just like the rest of the world hated Jeff Jarrett. First of all, it's called Jarrett Promotions.
Right.
Second of all, he was pushed on top because his daddy owned the company. But as far as drawing dollars in Memphis, I'm not saying anywhere else. I'm just saying in Memphis, Jeff Jarrett didn't draw a house ever.
Yeah, right.
And the reason being is because he's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed millionaire, and you want everybody to believe that he paid his. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't really Jeff's fault because Jeff did it right. Jeff started out as a referee. Jeff worked out. Jeff went to the office. Jeff did everything you're supposed to do except change his name. If he'd have changed his name, I believe he would have drew money in Memphis.
Okay.
But Stone Cold says the reason he never, ever got put over was because he had to work with Jeff to make Jeff look good, and Jeff's daddy owned the company, and that kind of bothered Steve, is what it said in this video thing I watched.
Yeah, okay.
And very much so, I understand that, because out of nowhere, like I said, I started running around there when I was 14, 15 years old. I didn't even know there was such a person as Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett was not, I knew Brian Lawler my whole life. I knew Dwayne Johnson my whole life, because when his daddy changed companies with my daddy, they would be there. I knew the Road Dogg. I knew Dustin Rhodes. I knew everybody. Eric Watts. I knew all these second generation, Doug Gilbert, Eddie Gilbert. I knew all these people, but I never heard of Jeff Jarrett. And then all of a sudden he showed up, and he had long, sissy-ass hair, and he was driving a $40,000 Lincoln, and he was making $2,000 a week when everybody else is making $300. And it's like, wait a minute. And it was kind of one of those, see, we're old school. If you don't draw in the main event, they drop you down to second or third match, and you get paid what you draw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's happened to a lot of guys. If you're in the main event and the house drops $5,000, you know you're going back to second match. And we'll try it again another day. Because if it don't work, they're not going to keep putting money in it. Well, even if Jeff didn't work, they still paid him the top dollar. And I kind of understand, you know, if I'm the owner of a company I'm going to take care of my kid, but I'm damn sure not going to pay my kid the top dollar above everybody else that drew the money. It's just bad, but that's, you know what I'm saying? Promoters are, I mean, look at Don King. Look how much money he stole off everybody. He didn't
Exactly.
do nothing. Right. As a person, as a wrestler, as he is the real deal. And see, that's what the world knows. That the world knows people that aren't what they say they are. Ric Flair, everywhere Ric Flair went, he took a bunch of chicks that he spent a lot of money and bought the whole building, whatever they wanted. Yeah. Because that's the lifestyle he said he lived. So you believe it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just, but once again, no matter what I say, it's just my opinion. And everybody's got one. But the whole world can see it. You can, there's books, there's, as they say, the record book. Go to the record book. Go to the books to show you how many people showed up when so-and-so was in the main event and how many people showed up. And that'll let you know for real what really went on.
Right. No, that's exactly right. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever partied with Ric Flair?
I did. Let me tell you a good story. You know, my brother-in-law is Bobby Eaton, so Bobby and Rick loved Bobby, and, you know, my brother-in-law and my sister and my niece and nephews and them lived in Charlotte. That's where they moved to. You know, Bobby had a contract with WCW his whole life. And, you know, their neighbors were Arn Anderson, Ric Flair. It was Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Bobby. They all lived in the same little area. And we, you know, my dad became the booker there one time, so we all moved there. So we were all, and Ric Flair took me on Thanksgiving night to go see the Carolina Panthers play football, because I drove from Nashville to go spend Thanksgiving with Bobby and my nephews and nieces and my sister. And of course Rick was there, and a couple other guys. Arn was there, and Tom Zink was there, you know, the Barbarian. All them lived in the same area. They were like a little clique. And so Ric Flair was going to see the Carolina Panthers play, and I said, I want to go. And I don't know if you're supposed to say this or not, but not that I really care. The Cocaine Man went with us, and it was the Cocaine Man, me, Ric Flair, and we went to the damn Carolina Panthers game, and it was great. And I made Ric Flair spend about, I don't know, $700-800 on me. I'd never been to a pro football game, and I said, "Oh my God, Rick, can I have one of them jerseys?" Because I didn't have no money. I worked for Jarrett, and so and Rick said, "Hell yeah, get what you want, kid. I ain't shitting." I bought a big rubber Carolina Panthers helmet head thing. I bought a jersey, everything they had in the concession stand thing. I had Rick buy for me, and I put it all on. And we entered the building, and we only stayed till halftime, because at halftime, I don't even know the game, the score, nothing. I just know that halftime, they wanted to go to the titty bar, and their old ladies were at home, and so the only way they could go to the titty bar is if we left at halftime. So we left at halftime and snorted coke all the way to the titty bar, and went in the titty bar and hung out till about the game, because, you know, in the titty bar they had TVs and the game was on. So when the game ended, the night ended, and we went on back to the house, and I remember my sister saying, "I can't believe you had Rick spend all that money on this shit." I go, "Why? He's Ric Flair.
I can't believe you didn't get more out of him. That's what I would say.
Actually, that was all they had, like a rubber helmet thing that you put on, and a jersey. They didn't have much in there to choose from. One of them lantern things, and some wristbands. I got everything they had, and I wasn't even a Carolina Panthers fan. I didn't get to do shit, but I was with Ric Flair.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Yeah.
Me and Wolfie partied with him one time in WCW too. You know, we went to the bar, because, you know, he knew I was Bobby's, you know, brother-in-law, and then of course everybody knows my crazy sister. As Tracy Smothers used to say, if you think Dundee's crazy, you ain't seen shit till you met his sister.
Yeah. Is that the time that Wolfie got chewed out by Arn Anderson? Is that the time?
Yeah, and there's another time. Did he ever tell you when he got all drunk and stupid, and I said, "I don't have your back in this situation"? He was going to punch Tank Abbott in the face.
No, I haven't heard that story. Oh my God.
He's so drunk, he's got one eye shut, and he said, "I'm supposed to go over here and punch that guy in the face." And I go, "Tank Abbott?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Well, I ain't got your back, bro, because he's going to kill you."
Ox Harley is one thing, but Tank Abbott's a different story.
I'm like, "What do you mean what I mean? He's Tank Abbott. He's going to..." Matter of fact, I'm going to go over there and get on his side. I'm going to beat you up with it. You're going to punch Tank Abbott. He has one eye closed, and he's looking across the bar. He said, "I'm going to punch him in the face." And I'm like, not when I'm in the building with you. You know I'm not. I mean, I would have put the boots to him with tape, because I was not going to do that.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That's so funny.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. You got to ask me about it. He'll remember. There's a lot of things about Wolfie. I always got the heat. I was always the one but really it was Wolfie. Wolfie, honestly, if you listen to all the stories All my stories are funny, fun, but all Wolfie stories are ending. He beat the guy in the National Guard Armory up. This dude was a sergeant. Wolfie punched him in the face. Wolfie liked to jump on people and shit when he was a little inebriated and had a little bit of nebulating going. I'd say, Wolfie, quit getting drunk and punching all these people in the face, man.
That's so funny. Oh my God.
I punch me in the face and then I go to rehab with him the next day.
Yeah. Well, hey, there you go.
And I go to rehab. He's like, I'm here to quit. Good luck. I punched my best friend in the world. I punched him in the eye. And he's hugging me and shit. I said, look, I'm just here for support because I don't want to quit. I'm not here to quit. I'm just here for Wolfie. So y'all have a good day.
Is this the time that I've seen a picture of you maybe in a vest and a diaper? No? Is that not the time?
No. That was just about 10 or 12 years ago at the WWF.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That was when that was about. I've been with my wife 15 years, so that was about 13 or 14 years ago. That's when I had. Yes. My baby girl. She was about about 5 years old, and I went to the rehab because I did a backslide, as they call it.
Sure.
But really, I just went high one time, and I hated every minute of it. I was so paranoid and so ashamed of myself, and so it was miserable. But anyway, so I went to the WWF rehab because first of all they pay for it for life, so I'm like, I'm going to use this, and it's in Florida and you can lay on the beach, and it was really nice. I went down there for 1 month, and listen, I got there, and about 2 days later, man, I start shitting, and I just your body's detoxing, just everything's leaving, and that was their solution. They give me a diaper, and I said, really? This is your solution? And so I put my diaper on, my motorcycle boots, my vest, and I went down to all the meetings, and I wore that diaper for days.
That's amazing. That's hilarious.
No, not the same diaper, baby. I changed the diaper.
The same diaper.
But I did change the diaper, but it was great because, down there, these people are all like mega super doctors. I mean, this rehab it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's no joke.
Right.
And they never see nothing like me in this place. And so when I rolled up and they give me a diaper, so I just wore it to all the meetings and shit. And these people are doctors and lawyers, and these are like big time doctors that have started doing the morphine themselves or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Shit like that. So they don't play that shit in the doctor world. So they have to really go to this rehab, and I was very entertaining there. They kind of enjoyed me being there.
I'm sure you're entertaining anywhere. I know you are on this podcast.
I think so. But my wife says, she said it's funny because everybody says, how is it living with Jamie Dundee? And she'll say, half the time I don't even know he's there. I guess it's because when we do this kind of things, it's been so long since I've done it, I guess I just get back in the mode of JCIs or whatever. But I guess most of the time I'm just sitting quiet dude in my house. I do what my wife and kids tell me to do, and that's what I guess you're supposed to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Where you'll run inside, put on a superhero costume,
I do that.
For hours and then jump out and try to
my daughter.
I love this.
What do they call that? ADHD.
Right. Right.
My daughter. I had parked the car at the store, and I saw my two daughters, Blaze and Jaden, coming down the street. I knew it was their car, so I go out at the edge of the road, and I'm waving at them. And she calls home and she says, "Mom, Dad's doing that autism thing again. He's out here in the traffic in the air, out here on the street just waving at people." And I said, "No, Dad, I was just doing it. I just went out to wave at my daughters because I saw them. I'm happy to see them." But she had to call home and tell them. And she's like, "Daddy's doing that autism thing again. He's out here in the street."
You get your little superhero.
I do. I have all kind of
and you dress up like a superhero.
Right. I put on my little Halloween outfits and I hide in the house. And then when they come home, I jump out on them and I'm like, "Hey, I'm Superman." I guess because I didn't get to be a kid, I'm now a kid again. I don't know.
Of course. Yeah. That's amazing.
No telling you. My wife says all the time. She said, "You never know what I'm gonna see or what's going on when I open the door at home."
You're either going to be angry,
I'm either asleep or I'm dressed up in an outfit, hiding in a closet because I've seen them coming. I'll get on the roof and, make like moo sounds and shit. I don't know. I quit. Never a dull moment. But like I said, I quit doing drugs and life's really slow and boring. So I have to entertain myself.
No, it sounds like your life is not boring at all, brother. So go ahead.
bored. My kids are all at school, and then my wife's at work, and so I'm just at home by myself. And
Right,
I'm like, and usually that's when I would do drugs or something. So I don't do drugs, and I don't like to drink because it gives me a headache, and the next day I have to apologize to somebody. So I quit doing that.
Right.
Because I don't think I've ever went one time drinking that I didn't owe somebody an apology. Somebody close to me, somebody really close to me and my family.
That you don't want to have to get an apology.
No, because I did not mean to have my dick out at the gas pump at the Wednesday night. It's the alcohol. It's not me. I don't know what that was. You know?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how to act. But I'm a smart enough man to know that I don't know how to act at that point. And let me tell you something. If you have to see yourself, like if I Google my name, the first thing that comes up is that video of me and Wolfie where I'm all drunk and I call the rock whatever. And if everybody in this planet had to see themselves in a state like that, every day they would quit doing what it was to make them get there.
Amen.
But see, as people, what we do is when we do dumb shit like that, we just suppress it. We put it in the back of our brain and we carry on and we try to avoid those people so we don't have to remember what we did.
Right.
But I have to, every time you type in Jamie Dundee on Google, that is the first thing that comes up.
Right.
And so I was like, God, that's really me. And lots of people love it. They think it's great. It's entertaining. Yeah, because it's not you.
Right. Exactly.
If it was you, you would think, I can't believe I said that or did that. And like I said, so I haven't touched a drop of alcohol in many, many years. And I haven't because I owe somebody an apology and I know I don't know how to act. So I stopped it.
I wasn't even allowed to look you up. Like,
yeah, my daughter's 15 and she's just now allowed to Google my name. I mean, really, it's like that.
I think you've met your match with her though, from the sounds of it.
Now, I just did one for Dutch Mantell, and this is pretty. My wife just brought this to my attention. Dutch Mantell's podcast thing, you know. I did his show not too long ago, and he puts it in segments, right?
Right.
This was crazy. Every single segment had been watched 20,000, 15, 18,000, 20.
Yeah.
There was one segment that I could not believe this number. The day we looked it up, it said Jamie Dundee reminisces on cocaine. Now, listen, every other segment had 18,000, 12,000, 15,000. Do you know how many people clicked that segment?
Oh, 100,000.
9 people. 9.
Whoa.
I could not believe it. I said, wow. My wife said, see? Nobody cares. They've seen that a million times. They wanted to see all this normal shit, which I understand. But I mean, I was like, wow, that is just 9 people when we looked it up at that time had clicked it. 20-something,000 had watched every other segment. That blew me away. I was like, wow, man. You know, I mean, I guess that just speaks volumes, I guess, you know?
Well, I mean, like, let me give you some numbers real quick. So with the Wolfie podcast, I have all the numbers here. Your 2 episodes you did with us, one of them is at 11,000 downloads and the other one is at 8,000 downloads. So yeah, because here's the thing. It's harder to do these podcast apps than it is YouTube. Everybody can go to YouTube and they're on YouTube. But whenever you don't put it on YouTube and it's everywhere else, it's a little more difficult to find. So people find it. But man, 11,000 people listen to you. Almost 20,000 people downloaded your 2 episodes. So that's pretty amazing, man. So
as a matter of fact, you know what's even more amazing? Hey, everybody that listens, send me $1.
Yes. Bro, that's it right there.
Daughter just pulled this. It's story time with Dutch with Jamie Dundee. It's got how many? 47,000.
31K views.
47,000 views on that segment. 37,000. And the cocaine thing only has like 1,028 listens.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. But I mean, it's not crazy to me because the world kind of knows what my past was. It ain't like, you know, it was kind of like when Vince McMahon called. I don't think he went, I wonder who Jamie Dundee is. I'm sure he knew who I was before the phone ever rang. I guarantee.
Exactly. Okay, you know? Now we got our hands full with this one.
Yeah. That's kind of like that Jimmy Cornette talking about he tried to fire me. I said, you can't fire me. Your company's shut down. You don't even work for us. And that's what he said. Well, I tried, Randy Hale. Sorry.
Randy tried to put it off on Cornette. That's hardcore, man. Oh, man.
Yeah. Randy Hale said Jamie's creator won't show up, and he up and he's laying out with chicks and he won't come to the shows. He said, I've got to fire him. So he said, Cornette, fire him. So I come in TV, and TV starts at 10. I got there at 10:35 or something. And Cornette's coming there. He said, Jimmy. I said, what, Jimmy? Because, I've known Jimmy since I was a little boy because he managed Bobby. He used to come to my house at Christmas, and everybody was mean to Jimmy. They kind of picked on Jimmy because Jimmy, he wasn't really considered one of the boys, But anyway, he is now. But at that time, he said, Jimmy, what are you doing late? I said, I guess because I left late. I don't know what you want me to say here. And he goes, well, Jamie, I want you to know you're fired. And I busted out laughing. I said, how you going to fire me? Your company just shut down.
From Smoky Mountain?
Smoky Mountain just closed. We let y'all come to our company to get a little bit of a run to feed some of these boys. And you don't even work for us, so you can't fire me. You guys all went my shit on and went on TV and did my thing and went home. And I really did not ever know till he did the video that says I tried to fire Jamie Dundee and he wouldn't let me. I didn't know really didn't know they were for real. I thought, I never gave it a second thought. I thought Jimmy was just around or something.
Yeah.
And come to find out, he was kind of serious. It didn't work for me.
Let's take a quick time out and get a word from one of my dope-ass sponsors, and we'll be right back with more Live and in Color with Wolfie D.
Uh-oh. The last cookie.
You can get a new box of cookies in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Are you my guilty self-conscience?
No, I'm the voice offering you promo code EXPRESS for free delivery on your first order.
Hey, who ate my cookies?
You mean, these cookies?
Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Promotion valid for first express delivery order. $50 minimum subject to availability. Restrictions apply.
That's your money saying it's time for a McDonald's run. Because with new McValue at McDonald's, you get more than you expect. Like buy a 6-piece McNuggets and add a McChicken for just $1. Your money says let's go. Get more than you expect with new McValue. Prices and participation may vary. Valid for item of equal or lesser value.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Jimmy Street and the Plastic Chic, Jarrett, are the undisputed tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise. This team does it all, and all they ask is, give me back my pro wrestling! Every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
I think you're on mute.
Workday starting to sound the same?
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
Jamie, so sounds like your wife has been an excellent influence on you in your life. When did you meet her? Tell us about that.
I hate her. Let me tell you something. Like I said, she challenged me first off, and nobody'd ever challenged me before. And I'm going to tell you the reason I married her. 2 reasons. First reason I married her is because she took my teeth and went out on New Year's Eve and sent me pictures of my teeth at the bar without me because I was a drunk prick long before the time to go party on New Year's Eve. Right. I'd already got drunk and I was a prick. And when I passed out, she said she thought I could take his money. No, he'll get more money. I could take his jewelry. No, he don't give a shit. He'll get more jewelry. She said, I'm going to take his teeth because he ain't going to go nowhere without his teeth. And sure enough, she took my teeth out on the town. And I woke up and I said, where's my teeth, bitch? She said, they're right here at the bar, you asshole. And she sent me pictures of my teeth are on the bar having a drink, and my teeth went out on New Year's Eve without me. And so I thought, this got me, man. This chick has got me. Nobody's ever got me. And then the second thing she did, and I said, I'm going to marry you, is we was in the shower, and I peed on her leg, and she peed back on my leg, and I was like, you know what? I'm marrying you. And that's why we got married. Because nobody has ever got me, and no bitch has ever peed back on me, and that's the greatest thing I've ever seen. So we will be married. And 15 years later, we are still happily married with all our beautiful daughters.
I wouldn't go half of it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, but I was like, you know, because nobody's ever got me, man. You know, I'm right. Dundee. I've been selling kisses since I was 8 years old. Nobody gets me in this world.
Right.
Nobody.
Right. When you find the right one, though, you know.
That's right. And listen, you know the best part? My wife grew up Christian in a Pentecostal family.
Wow.
And listen, you talk about opposites attract. This right here is one of those. No, her whole family, her whole town, every person that's ever, her teachers, anybody that's ever met her is like, you married that guy?
Right. How? Yeah.
Yeah. Why? I mean, how? And this is how it started. On MySpace, she sent me a message, and all it said was, hi. That was it. Just said hi. And I read.
You were like, yes.
You want me to take care of you the rest of your life? You want to get married? We'll have kids. We'll run off together. I'll straighten you out. I'll pick you up. And then it will be 15 years later. We'll be a happy couple. That's what I read. No, that did not mean none of that. It really just meant hi.
Right. Like, how you doing?
Sure enough. Well, she had seen me wrestle, you know, because she's 10 years younger than me. So she had saw us on TV, and she lived right by Evansville. But of course, you know, she grew up in a really Pentecostal. You know how Pentecostal, to me, I call it a cult. It's kind of a cult. You know, they are all believe, and they are there, and they all stay together, and everything they do together. And she came with the church 2 times to the Coliseum and saw me wrestle. And she used to tell her mom and daddy, yeah, he's so cute, you know, and she's 10 years younger than me. So when I was 25, she was 15. Mm-hmm. So she's about like Jaden saying, you know, Snoop Dogg's cute or whoever. You know, but you know what I mean? And then 10 years later, she just happened to say on MySpace, hi. And I was like, hi, what's up, girl? I was actually working on the circus. Me and my dad was on the road on the circus. I was getting shot out of a cannon, and I was a clown in the Cole Brothers circus.
Wow.
And, yeah, this chick says hi, and I say hi, and I fly back home. I leave the circus, and I come back home, and I start doing water tanks with her dad, you know, going around the world, you know, sandblasting water tanks, painting them.
Yeah,
and here we are, 15 years later, here we are. I'm doing your show. So everything
awesome.
is pretty weird, man. But definitely must credit 100% to my beautiful, loving, kind wife that took my teeth and peed on me, that I love her. She's my redneck wife forever. And it's one of those things that I can't imagine life without her, man. I really cannot imagine life without her.
Hey, what about her, right? Come on.
Well, you know, as the guy said on that, you know, how bless her heart, I hate to keep going back to the subject, but you know, when Austin passed away, people try to console you. You know what I mean? They try to say, you know, Jamie, I'm so sorry. A person says to me, Jamie, I'm so sorry to hear about your son. They said, but at least you got 6 more.
Wow.
Wow, that's what I said. Wow. They were not meaning that in no bad way whatsoever.
Right.
But the way that came out, I just began to laugh, and I thought, I wonder if they ever read that back to themselves.
Seriously.
You got 6 more. I mean, yeah, hell yeah. I mean, hell, 6 more. That's great. I mean, I was like, bless their heart. You know, they're just, sometimes you don't know what to say to people, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's like saying you lose a finger and you got 9 more. I mean, you still miss that finger, you know? And I would never compare your son to a finger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what are you comparing him to a finger?
Right, exactly. I mean,
but that's what I mean. But people, it's just in life, sometimes I know this person, I know him, I've known him for 20 or 30 years. Like I said, we wrestled in the same building every week. Those wrestling fans not only become, they are your survival, but not only that, they are your family, man. Right. They are these people that listen, they love you as much as they hate you in the entertainment world, but also many people have fed me, clothed me, took me in when nobody else would. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the wrestling world is definitely It's a clique, and that's
Yeah.
what's wrong. It's not a clique no more. Nobody really knows nobody. The fans don't really know the guys. Like I said, it's just. But everything changes. You know, my dad's generation before ours said we killed wrestling because me and Wolfie wore shorts and we had tape on our wrist.
I've heard your dad say it a couple of times. Oh, they're killing the business. This is the shits.
My dad told my son, I'm thinking of Austin again. Austin was like 5, and he said he put some tape on his wrist, and he came into the dressing room, and my daddy said, "What are you doing with that tape on your wrist, boy?" He said, "I'm a wrestler." He said, No. Real wrestlers don't wear tape. Only shitty wrestlers. He goes, "Daddy, are you a shitty wrestler?" And I go, "No, I'm not a shitty." He said, "Pop said you was because you wear tape." And I said, "Yeah, but Pop said this big hat right here killed Memphis, too. You know that big tall hat I wore?" I said, "He kicked my ass." Because he ended up wearing a little top hat, managing Steven Regal looking like Jiminy Cricket. So I'm like, that's what killed Memphis. Bill Dundee looked like Jiminy Cricket.
What do you think did kill Memphis, honestly? Was it Larry Burton? Was it? Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
But what killed Memphis wrestling?
Yeah.
Was when you let the outside world in, no matter what it is, it kills it. It killed magic. It killed the circus. It killed the mafia. It killed when you let everybody in, because listen, everything ain't for everybody. When you let everybody in, you definitely shut it down and kill it no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? No matter what it is. If you got a barbecue place and you're kicking ass in barbecue in your town and you let 2 other dudes come in and they're your cousin and your brother and they go over there and open another barbecue stand because you want to keep expanding, what you did was you see what I'm saying? Too much of everything. Like I said, the mafia style world. Once the mafia, Johnny the Bull Gravano and all them started getting on the cover of Time magazine and all that shit, that's it. It's over. Once you let everybody in, you kill it no matter what it is, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
And that's what killed Memphis.
Yeah. Jared, you got something?
Earlier, you were talking about Bobby Eaton, and, I've always wondered, what do you think, or I always wonder what people think. What do you think was the better Midnight Express? Do you think it was Bobby and Stan or Bobby and Dennis?
Definitely Bobby and Dennis.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Now listen, Stan Lane, it credited Bobby, because Stan was a fabulous one. And let me tell you something, Steve and Stan were over like Rover, bro. You know what I mean? But like anything, we as the star or the whatever you want to call it, we think we're bigger than the show. And nobody and nothing is bigger than the show. The show will go on without you. I don't care who you are and what show it is. It will go on without you because the show is what makes you. And so what happened, Steve and Stan and them, they walked out. This is no shit. In 1980 something, when they left this company, they walked out making $2,000 a week, which is huge money. You know what I mean? In the 80s. Huge money. Jimmy Carter just got done being president. Ronald Reagan just took back over. The world's in a recession. I mean, it was damn near as bad as like this idiot running the country now. Same thing. They walked out making $2,000 a week, and then they probably made another $2,000 a week in pictures and T-shirts and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they wanted more money, so they walked out and never, I'm sorry to say, but the truth's the truth, never made another nickel in the wrestling business.
Yeah.
Because they thought they were bigger and better than the show. And nobody is bigger and better than the show, no matter what the show is. Because it's been going on long before we got here, and it will still be going on long after we're gone, no matter what the show is. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so Stan Lane, when he went with Bobby, he was good looking, he was young, but if you watch it, Bobby does all the work because Stan probably thinks he's still Stan the Fab and he don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Bobby and Dennis, once again though, they did it for the love of the business, not for the money in the contracts.
Yeah.
You can see the difference in that. When you watch them, they would have done it for free. Stan and Bobby, Stan credited Bobby. They looked good together. They were a good-looking team. But once again, Bobby carried the whole load, did all the work, and Stan was just there. You know what I mean? And Bobby could have wrestled a broomstick by himself and drew money with it.
Amen.
Because he was a wrestlenologist. He was just, and what a humble, kind, the world lost something when they lost Bobby Eaton, man.
Amen. Amen.
If I didn't like Bobby Eaton, this world would be a great place to be, man.
That is sincerely and absolutely correct. You know, I want to kind of go in a different direction. I love Bobby, by the way. I knew him just a little bit, and he did a lot for me when I got my little foot in the business.
Bobby, that's all you have to know, Bobby. Those that really met Bobby was just such a a good person, man. That he never forgot where he came from. He came from Huntsville, Alabama, in the projects. A little white boy living in the projects in Huntsville. He had to fight. A lot. But when he got money and he got rich and he would go back to Huntsville to see his mama Dorothy, he would give every little kid in that hood $1, $2, $5, ice cream, whatever. Bobby was just, because Bobby never forgot where Bobby came from, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what separates those that are and those that ain't. Kind of like The Rock. The Rock never forgot where he came from. He grew up poor. His daddy was Rocky Johnson. He grew up, but he just gave that damn UFC fighter a house the other day. Y'all see, he gave Downtown Bruno a truck because he didn't forget Downtown Bruno gave him $400 when he had nothing to buy him a car. Shit like that. That's some real shit, man. I don't care who it is, what it is. That is real shit, man. For somebody to do something like that. Kid was sleeping in the gym, came from Africa to chase a dream, and The Rock saw that and bought that brother a house. Now, we all know it's a tax write-off, whatever it may be, but he did it because that dude, that's such a kind person, man, that dude really is just, I don't know, that dude is one of the best on our planet, the highest paid dude in the world, and of course, Jamie Dundee's dumbass has to call him the N-word. Jesus, what's wrong with me, man?
I mean, mistakes are made.
But it is what it is. I said it. I can't take it back. But I've already said on many videos, interviews, the reason I said it, I was a drunk. I was on drugs. I knew my career was ending. I was jealous. And here's another thing. It got a lot of views and sold a lot of DVDs, so that's what we were there to do. So I don't know, but it is what it is. But like I say, not that he gives a what I say, but one day I'll have to see him again because we're from the same world, and I will tell him like I tell everybody, I'm sorry, I was wrong, because if you put a picture of him in a magazine and a picture of me next to it, said which one of these is the N-word, they would all vote for me.
Well, I mean,
Guarantee not one person would say, well, that's The Rock. It's that other great redneck mother right there is. So it is what it is.
Right.
But I do truly, from the bottom of my heart, I apologize because it bothers me. I said it just because he never did nothing to me but be my friend. We were little kids growing up together. He never ever, there was no reason for me to ever say that about him except I was mad, drunk, and jealous. And you know what I mean? And so it is what it is. Now, listen, I didn't make the word up, and I learned it in America. I said learned with a T. I learned. I learned that in America, too.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is, it is what it is. I said it, but can't take it back. It was me, but I apologize because I didn't say it because for no other reason except I was mad. He was moving on, and I wasn't.
Right.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Sergeant and Mr. Smith, you're gonna love this house.
Bunk beds in a closet?
There's no field manual for finding the right home. But when you do, USAA Homeowners Insurance can help protect it the right way. Restrictions apply.
At the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event, get deals so right, it almost feels wrong. Now's the best time to get that Hyundai you've always wanted. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with America's best warranty and 3 years or 36,000 miles of limited complimentary maintenance. Don't think you can get away with all that? Think again. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today. It's a great day for a new Hyundai.
My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
Support for Live and in Color with Wolfie D is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped recently launched the Ultimate Men's Hygiene Bundle, the Performance Package. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code WOLFIE at manscaped.com. If my math's correct, that's about 8 million balls.
So, we're kind of getting to the end of our time, man. It's flown by as it always does. But, I want to ask you, we become friends with these guys a little bit, and especially Scott Spade and getting to know,
I love me Scott Spade.
So talk about your time running up there to POW and working in Chicago with Scott and all those guys.
Let me tell you something, man. That was right at the end of where I knew my wrestling career was over and I was done. And the guy that actually trained Wolfie, Ric Reynolds, he came to me. He said, "Jamie, I got a place you need to go." Yeah, I guess he just, Rick's known me a long time. I love me some Ric Reynolds.
Thanks the world of you too, So.
Yes, I'm listening. That's my buddy, man. But he said, "I want you to go to this place with me." He said, "I'm just we're gonna get you $100, but whatever. Money's really irrelevant to me, especially in a place like that, because what Jimmy Blaze did for me, I could never ever repay back. I could never ever thank them or tell them enough. They showed me." That was when I just first started quitting doing drugs, and I knew I couldn't be around the wrestling world. And Ric Reynolds said, "Come on, I want to take you to this place, man. You're really going to like it." And so I went up there with my boy Buzzed Up and Shane Morton, my Tennessee guys, and I rode in the truck. We went all the way up there. And when I met Scott Spade and all them people, bro, I don't know, that it changed my view and my way of the wrestling business, of life. It really did. It saved my life, man.
That's awesome.
To go up there, really did. To go up there and see them people and know that I could do the wrestling business without the drugs and the bullshit, and really have a good time and enjoy it and do it. Once again, I did it for the love of my business that I hadn't done for a long, long time,
Right.
And Scott Spade's beautiful wife, thanks to Jamie Dundee, they are married with some beautiful children that came to my wedding. Everything happens for a reason. I believe that 100%. And I met those people up there, Mr. Riccolo, Mom Stoley, the two clowns. I met them people up there, and they really did show me that life is it's what you get out of it, what you put into it. Yeah. And me just being, crazy old Dundee, and everybody tell me how great you are in life, and you begin to believe all that bullshit.
Right.
And I got to go up there, and I got to see the wrestling world as a business and as a family and as friends, instead of the wrestling world where, can't wait to get your spot, can't wait to tell on you, digging you into, stabbing you in the back. Everybody up there was a family. They did it together. They did it as one. And like I've always said, Jimmy Blaze saved my life, whether he ever knew it or not. Pal, where superheroes come to life, bro. That ain't no bullshit. I can never ever thank all those people enough, and I hope that they know how much that they really did help save my life, man. And that's for real. Awesome. And so they let me live in their home, and they treated me like one of their own kids. Mr. Riccolo did, and Mom Stoley, and they are truly my family. I used to send them messages to say, "Can I change my name to Stolzman?" Because that's Mr. Riccolo and in real life. Bill is my dad. He didn't do good, but I really like the way y'all parent up there, and I'd like to come on up there and y'all can ground me or whatever. It ain't bad to be grounded in a big old huge house with anything you get to eat or drink, and it was nice.
Yeah, no doubt.
But Scott Spade and all I learned a lot. In the South, as kids, we can't wait to get out of the house. That is our dream. When we were kids, we can't wait to turn 18 so we can get out of our mom and daddy's house and we can do whatever it is we want to do. Yeah. In the North, man, it's like they're 25, 28. They still live it. It's like they stay a family until it's time for them to leave the nest. Right. In the South, it's kind of like mom and daddy's like, "I can't wait to get out of here." I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It was something. It really did honestly save my life, man, because I don't know if Ric Reynolds wouldn't have took me up there, I don't know if I would have ever made it out of that period of life, really, because I was so down. I was going in and out of jail all the time. It's kind of like one of those, Man, you know what I mean? I'm so tired of it. And I really wasn't trying, but that's what we as people and drug addicts do. I'm so tired of trying and nothing ever going right. No, really what I was so tired of is not having no drugs and not having, you know, the fame and all that shit's leaving. And then I got to go up there and just, it was a beautiful thing, man. And I'll never be able to ever repay those people. And I hope they know that.
They love you to death, man. From the ones I've spoken with, and I know I talk to Rick about once a week, and man, you know, Rick loves you to death, man. And he's like, when you go get that Jamie on the podcast? I'm like, we're working it out, man. We're working it out.
Well, you would listen. Next time you talk to Rick, you say Jamie Dundee told everybody about the girl's ass prints on the front of the cop car. Just say that to him, and he can carry on with the story if he wants. But tell him that's one of my greatest stories is ass prints on the front of a cop car. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. The story continues then. I love that.
Yes, sure enough, because if you want to know the answer, you got to talk to Rick.
Okay, I love that. I love that. Jared, you got the last one, brother. Take it.
All right, Jamie. So this is a question I always like to end with. If you could look back on your career and think, man, that was my favorite match I ever had, what would it be?
Bar none. Now, I'm going to put it's got to be two. Because the first one has to be the first one has to be when the Rock and Roll Express put me and Wolfie over in Louisville Gardens.
Oh man, that's a great match.
That definitely sent us to the next level. And plus those were my heroes, man.
Right,
you know what I mean? That
right.
Unbelievable. And the people the way they popped and shit was just, it was like, wow, man, they really did believe we could do it. You know, whether they know it's a work or not or whatever. What they don't realize in our world is for somebody to put you over, it's hard to, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be like, I ain't putting it over. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that for these.
Right.
You know, he's kind of like when Andre did it for Hogan. You know, that takes a lot to get you. People don't even understand that part, but it's a respect thing. You got to earn that to be able to be put over by so-and-so. You know what I mean?
Right.
So bar none, when the Rock and Roll Express put PG-13 over, and then the one that's right there with it is WrestleMania semi-main event against the Road Warriors in Chicago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. That's awesome.
It don't get no better than that, baby. Like I said, like I've said a million times, they told us take the double clothesline, hit the mat, and roll out. And Wolfie rolls out, and I stay in the ring. And that one comes by, and he goes, "Roll, Dundee." And I go, "No way, brother. I'm never going to be on WrestleMania again. They going to come and get me. I'm going to get my time." He said, "Good shit, brother."
Right. Yeah. Every time I point out, every time I want to prove how smart PG-13 was, I always go to the 97 Royal Rumble match where you and Wolfie came out with every guy from the nation, and y'all always knew where the camera was. It's magic.
That's great, because Wolfie said to me, "How in the are you in every shot?"
Yeah.
And I said, and in the building, they had them big Trons up on the walls, right?
Yeah.
And every time I would stand at the turnbuckle, I would watch the Tron, and when it swapped to the camera, I'd run around to that other turnbuckle because I knew
it's a work of art. It's a work of art.
Yeah, because I knew I'm going to get my time on this TV because you don't know how long you're going to be there. You don't know none of that, but I know this is the top of the world, mama.
Right.
This is what we did, just like Super Bowl of football. This is what everybody on our planet that's ever put on a pair of boots wants to do at WrestleMania. I always said I want four things. I want to be in a magazine. I want to be walk the aisle of the Madison Square Gardens. I want to be on WrestleMania, and I want an action figure. And by God, a little 165-pound hell-raising did it my way, mother. I got all of them. So, you know what? For all the critics, kiss my ass. And for those that know me, you know that I earned it, by God.
Yeah, amen. Well, you know, speaking of that, yeah, it is a great answer. I think those are great matches. But speaking of that, we are going to get action figures taken, I promise, by 2024, by the end of 2024. Hopefully something will be in the pipeline for actual professionally made by a major company action figure. Some way, somehow, we're going to figure it out. Okay, so
that is great with me, brother. And you know what? I ain't even mad if you put Wolfie with me.
well, that's the goal. But you know, either way, we'll get it figured out. But there's been a lot of interest, and I think I just needed to know that you're cool with it and Wolfie's cool with it. So once that happens, hopefully we'll have some action figures very soon. So. anyway.
By God, I'm so cool with it that the first one they make, they ain't even got to pay me. But all the rest of them they make, I want a little money from them. But the first one, they ain't even got to pay me for it. They can just send it to the house.
Well, the goal would be to get you some money, but all that Jarrett and I are asking is we don't want any money from it. We just want a free set of action figures. That's all we want.
Well, by God, let me tell you something. If you get that done, I'm gonna give you 2 free sets of action figures. One you can keep, and the other one you can play with, because everybody wants to play with PG-13, baby.
Exactly. Oh man, Jamie, this has been amazing.
Thank you so much, man.
I mean,
Hey, brother, thank y'all, man. And you know what the best part about it is? Jaden Starr said she wants an action figure of herself too, or I'm never doing another radio show for y'all again.
Okay,
well, she needs one.
She'll be the variant. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we got you, girl. We'll take care of that too. But anyway,
it is. You heard it from the man right there. And listen, if it's 30 years from now, whatever. But we're gonna get you one before we leave the planet. I promise.
Right. That's the point. Yeah. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story, man. Thank you for talking about your son. I know that's not easy, but we just thank you so much But man, I just want to say this, Jamie. You are one of the most misunderstood wrestlers of all time, I think, because
don't kill my gimmick. Don't kill my gimmick, man. Damn.
No, but to know you is to love you, man. There's nothing about Jamie Dundee that if you don't know him, if you don't like him, you probably just don't know him, And
true that, but naturally, if you don't like me, it's because you know JC Ice. Because I will tell you, those are 2 different people. Because JC Ice don't give a.
Right.
He, as Cat Williams said, he don't give a. Yeah, he don't care. He don't give a.
Right.
Jamie Dundee, I am a father, a grandfather. I cry at sad movies. Actually, I cry all the time. I don't know what that's about, but anyway. But JC Ice, that dude is definitely. That's why we keep him put away. We keep him locked up in the box. And but also without that dude, I wouldn't be who I am. So I mean, he is a part of who I am. But thank you for the compliment, and I appreciate that. And I try to live, like I said, I try to live a good karma type of life. I believe if you can go out here and do dirty shit and try to scam and connive, then bad shit comes back on you. But if you just go out here and try to do everything you think is right, because nobody says what's really right or wrong. I mean, people say it's wrong for me to teach my kids that I cuss and I did drugs. No, it's not, because that way they won't do it, hopefully.
Right, hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully. And if they do, there's nothing nobody can do about it, because all we can do as parents is guide. We can just give them a guide and say, this is what you should do. Like I told my star baby, this is what you should do. But if she does the other thing, then the consequences you have to pay. You have to pay for what you do. You have to consequences. You have to pay the piper, and I don't care who you are.
Right. Yeah. No, that's true words. And honestly, I don't think there's anything else we need to say after that one. That's wrapping it up perfect. So once again, JC Ice, Jamie Dundee, whoever you are right now, thank you so much.
Jamie Dundee.
I know you are. And thank you for being on Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling. It's been an honor and a true privilege to have you on, brother. Thank you.
And you know what? By God, if they would just listen to what it's called, Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, then Vince McMahon wouldn't be where he's at today.
Amen. There you go.
Have a good day, man.
Thank you, buddy.
You too, buddy.
Hey, Wolfie, kiss my ass. Bye, y'all.
Oh, my goodness.
Dude.
There's some clips in there.
Oh, man, it's chock full of them.
Still livin' in color on the Wolfie D. We got a cop for your zone.
Good night, itchy eyes. Good night, sudden sneeze. Good night to your symptoms of allergies. Zysol is the allergy medicine you take before bed. It provides powerful relief while you rest your head. Not just all night, but all the next day. Zysol keeps working, keeping allergies at bay. And without those annoying symptoms disturbing your rest, you can wake up the next morning feeling your absolute best. Remember, be wise all, take Zysol. At night.
Your snacking routine can get a little dull. Time for a light and fit remix. Like a crunchy storm of graham cookies, caramel pearls, and dark chocolate, showering down into a smooth, creamy yogurt. Enjoy 3 light and fit remix varieties with craveable flavors and up to 120 calories and 10 grams of protein per 4.5-ounce serving. See remixyogurt.com.
We're shipping Mother's Day gifts with a rapid-fire round of questions. Ready?
Yes. My gift. Can you pack it?
Yep.
Ship it?
Yes.
Guarantee it?
Of course.
Oh, send gift baskets?
For sure.
Protect electronics? Dog-proof it? Return it if they hate it?
Yes, no, and yeah.
Are you the UPS store?
Hey, we have a winner!
Visit theupsstore.com/guarantee for full details. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Visit a store today.
So good, so good, so good.
Great gifts for mom? We've got them. And they're up to 60% off at Nordstrom Rack stores now.
You know they have Marc Jacobs? Gotta show mom some love.
That is so good. Snag amazing deals on Mother's Day gifts from Barefoot Dreams, Kate Spade New York, and more. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
Hey everybody, Gene Jackson here, inviting you to check out the Retro Wrestling Review, where each week I'm joined by some great co-hosts who help me review classic episodes of USWA Championship Wrestling, and right now we are doing week-by-week reviews of 1993. But we don't just do reviews, sometimes we get a chance to interview some of the people who were there and lived it, plus do watch-alongs. It's a lot of fun, so check out new episodes that drop every Wednesday at WrestleCopia.com, and to find links to everything associated to the podcast, you can go to USWApodcast.com.
Hi, this is Mike Needham, host of the Reckless Abandon Podcast with Mike Needham. We invite you to jump on your favorite podcast platform and search for the Reckless Abandon Podcast and give us a listen. I'm sometimes joined by a part-time podcaster, part-time co-host, and full-time wife, Tiffany Nicole. We talk wrestling, we talk pop culture, we talk local events, local happenings in West Tennessee, and a ton of other stuff. But be sure to check out the Reckless Abandon Podcast. Find us on Facebook. Also, look up the Microgroup Podcasting family on Facebook and see some of our other podcasts we have out there. Until next time, make good choices and always remember, no dollar, no dice.
So that was another great episode. Hey, Wolfie, tell them where they can find you on social media.
Jimmy, they can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. I'm just kidding. They can find me on Facebook. My personal page is Warren Wolf, WOLFE. I'm on Instagram at WarrenWolf13.
You can always find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Live Wolfie D. Here's the thing. Wolfie always has offers for his autographed photos. He has a selection of some awesome photos from throughout his career that he will autograph and personalize any way that you want him to. Just contact him either directly at his personal Facebook page or through any one of our other pages, and we'll make sure you get in contact directly with Wolfie. Get those photos, right, Wolfie?
Yeah, I've got some good stuff on there, to help with the podcast.
Folks, if you can't get out to a show to meet Wolfie D, there's nothing like that, especially for the fans of PG-13 and Wolfie D. And before we go, you can always find me, your host, Jimmy Street, at jamesrockstreet on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
And hey, Jimmy, before we go real quick, I just want to add in there, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate, first of all, the work you've done for this podcast. You have worked your butt off. Secondly, the people that are liking the page. Beyond that, even more, is the people that are listening, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah, and remember, guys, the podcast drops a new episode every Monday at noon, and our past episodes are streaming now on demand on all major podcast formats. Thanks again.
Yeah. PG-13 Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame Class of 2024. Give it up. Spaceman Jones with the beat. Here we go. The 90s was ours, and we did it with pride. 15-time tag champs, what a hell of a ride. Rock and roll couldn't beat us. No Tommy and Doug. Knox Mother's dirty white boy who called themselves thugs. T is for terrible. H is for hell. Ha! PG both been locked up in county jail. The kid was real. And we were immature punks. Buddy Wayne couldn't stand us because we didn't wear trunks. We did it our way. In and out of the ring. Bought a real rap swagger to the Memphis thing. You can hate it, you can love it. We just did our thing. Still true to the game. Now we Hall of Fame. PG-13. Put respect on our name. Yeah.
This has been a James Rock Street production.